Hey guys, welcome to the channel. As you see in the thumbnail, what if Luffy was grandson of XEBEC and wield his HAKI and sword? Before I start, please do support for more awesome content, and subscribe my channel and like this video. Go support and follow the Ratastorm for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story. Link in the description. Kuma! What did you do that? Luffy said. Is it to save me, or are you working with the Navy? He said as he flying through the sky. I know you are part of the Revolutionary Army, but why did you save Kizaru? As he was punching the air bubble in front of him, and then fallen asleep while still flying in the sky, wondering he can reunite with his crew members, and then waited until he landed on an island. 3 days later, Amazon Lily. Luffy was crashing down in a forest of an island that he just landed on, but he was still sleeping. After a few minutes, he woke up and then stood up. Gee, where am I? Luffy said. The one thing I don't like about Kuma is his devil fruit. I'm glad that Bonnie is not here, because she might try to kill me. Luffy then just yawned and still looked tired. I want to figure out where I am, but I don't feel like moving. I didn't get to finish my sake after I had to go fight Kizaru. This is such a drag. Luffy then falls down again, and then gets completely knocked out, and then starts sleeping again. Marguerite POV. Hurry, I can see the smoke from here. It's right over there, a woman said as she was running towards the smoke of where Luffy landed. They have been anchored off of shore for a while now. Another woman said. You don't think they made landfall, do you? It could be a great consequence. That may be true, but we have high security all over the island. First woman said. Even if they figured out to breach through our iron defensive, they would be only foolish to draw attention only to themselves. Who could it actually be then? Another woman said. Let's find out for ourselves. The first woman answered. For right now, split up into groups, she said as the three of them divided into groups as they were trying to figure out what had happened and how did it get past of their security. Suddenly, the second woman found Luffy, who was sleeping on the crash impact on the ground in the forest. What is it that the second woman asked Marguerite? Hurry, you must see this. The first woman looked over. Look over there. You see that? Calm down, Sweet Pea. Marguerite said. What is it? What do you think of this? Sweet Pea asked as she and Marguerite looked at the sleeping Luffy on the ground. This is a human, Marguerite answered. They must be unconscious. Do you think that she is from the village? Sweet Pea asked. I don't know, but I think it's best we tell someone about this, Marguerite answered. Maybe Elder Nyan knows something about this. You're right. Let's go back to the village. Back to the village. Hey! We have an emergency! Marguerite yelled out to the whole village, which caught everyone's attention. What happened? One Amazonian asked as Marguerite, Sweet Pea and Aphalandra were holding Luffy, who was still sleeping, in their hands. We found this human in the forest who looked to be unconscious. Sweet Pea answered. We don't know if she is from the village or not. Is she even alive? At that point another Amazonian said. Where did she came from? We don't know, Marguerite answered. We don't know who she is. Nyomai, an elder woman, said. What do we have here? Oh, hi Granny Nyan, Marguerite said. We found this woman in the forest, and she seems unconscious, and we are trying to figure out what's wrong. Let me take a look here, Granny Nyan said as she was inspecting Luffy, who was still sleeping, and then suddenly her eyes widen. Onyo, she said as he faints, and then some of the Amazonians catches her. Granny Nyan, are you alright? An Amazonian said. Everything is fine, Nyan answered, except for that person is a man, causing everyone Amazonian to widen their eyes in shock. They have been taking care of a man. Luffy POV. Rahaji, Luffy yelled out, which most of the entire village heard. Luffy had just woken up in a weird cage, and he was being stared by a bunch of women from the outside of the cage, so it was just a dream. What a drag! And then Luffy stood up to see women staring at him. He's woken up, an Amazonian said. He just made a weird noise. Is it only him? Or do all men do that? Another one said. Where the hell am I? Luffy asked. And how did I end up here? I swear I was in the forest. Luffy then looks down, and then looked surprised. Where are my clothes? One woman pointed to the corner of where Luffy's clothes here. But before you put them on, what are those things between your legs? Marguerite asked. Let's just say that they are a man's weak spot, Luffy answered casually, trying to sound funny. Is that all? And then the Amazonians nodded, and then Luffy puts on his clothes. Alright then, can I please leave out of there? Luffy asked. No, you may not, one Amazonian answered as the rest of them pulled out their weapons. Why not? I don't be a girl's pet, Luffy said. I just need to go back to my crew members. If we let a man stay on this and the Snake Princess comes back, she is going to be furious, Kikyo said. Marguerite, Sweet Pea and Aphalandra, I'm doing this for your sake. Damn it, my sword is not here, Luffy said. Looks like I have to get out of here with no swords. Luffy activated his HAKI, and crosses his arm. 7 art style, red whirls. Luffy crossing his arms forming a letter X, and then wind appears blowing away the Amazonians and breaking the iron bars. And then escapes the cell and then makes a run for it. I have to be fast, Luffy said. Now the island is going to hunt me down. As he was running and jumping around the village, suddenly someone alerted that Luffy is running, and then the villagers started hunting for Luffy. Looks like I got away, Luffy said as he was standing on top of a building when suddenly arrows started going his direction. What the I jumped the whole village. How did find me so quickly, Luffy said as he was still running and then was surrounded by the Amazonians. Looks like I'm not getting out of here without a fight, he said as he was dodging the Amazonians' attacks. The only thing I can use is my combat arts and devil fruit. I need to find my sword soon. Luffy then grabs Marguerite and then makes his way to forest. What the hell was that? Marguerite said. Do all men do that? No, I ate the Gomagumo no Mi, which is a devil fruit, Luffy answered. Not all man has that except if they ate one. What do you want with me? Marguerite asked as she holds his sword out, and Luffy puts his hand up. Calm down, I just want to know where my Viva card is and my sword, Luffy answered. I have no intentions of staying here in general. Marguerite gives Luffy his Viva card. I have no clue where your sword is, but it's somewhere around the village, Marguerite said. What is that sword to you? It was a gift from my mama. It's held the 8 secret arts which can be obtained on a mythical sword, Luffy answered. If someone has the possession of it, it could be dangerous to that user. The only person who can maintain its power is me, as I'm the owner of the sword. I see. Well, I don't know who took your sword and where they placed it, Marguerite, so I can't help you. Great. Well, at least I got 1/2 things I needed, Luffy said. What is your name, by the way? Marguerite answered. What about you? I'm Monkey D. Luffy answered. The 5th Emperor of the Sea, causing Marguerite's eyes to be widened. You're the superhuman, Marguerite asked. How did you end up here? I don't see your ship here. I was sent flying by one of the 7 warlords, Luffy answered. I came from Sabaody. Anyway, is there a place I could call someone or get off this island? I'm afraid there is not much I can do, Marguerite said. Listen, you might have to get out of here because my friends might come to get you after you kidnapped me. Luffy then looked into the future and then looked surprised. Well, that's just bad timing, Luffy said. Sorry, I have to go now before I'm going to get shoot down. Luffy thence run the mountains, and then all of the snakes were biting his, and then arrows were being shot at. Kikyo POV. Don't let him escape, Kikyo said as he's shooting down Luffy, who is climbing up the mountain. What is he doing? What are his intentions? I don't know, but he is determined to get his sword back and leaving Marguerite. Apparently that's the 5th Emperor and the superhuman of paradise. What Aphalandra said. But how did he get here and why is he here? We better find out for ourselves before the Snake Princess interrogates him. Kikyo said. Something tells me he is not going to leave out of here alive. Luffy POV. Luffy successfully climbed onto the mountain and sat down for a minute to breathe. Alright, I made it out of there alive, Luffy said. I'm too hungry to keep on doing this. Luffy then stood up and then look around the island. Before I get something, let me take a look of this island. Let's see, this looks like a jungle and it's seeming like it's in the calm bed, and the mountain is surrounding the sky full of houses and fortress. But the island is full of women, and I saw this island on the world maps, which means this island is called screw it, some random ugly island architecture. I've heard that this is inhabited by a tribe, but I can't remember the name. Luffy then walks around the mountain. I've heard that a warlord lives in that castle, Luffy said as he points the castle. I'm not sure. Work this out. Right now, the whole island of women is on my ass right now, and if I attack then the tribe will just capture me easily. Luffy then tries to think of something and then remembers something. What am I doing right now? I need my swords, and I need to think on how to reunite with my crew. I can't waste my time on a warlord, Luffy said. Maybe the swords are hidden in the castle. But if not, then I have to search every building, which I don't want to do. Luffy then sighed. But firstly, I need to grab food. So, why don't I? Luffy said as he was slipping and then falls onto the castle's roof, which everyone Amazonian saw, and then Luffy came crashing into a bathtub. Shit. That's not what I was planning on. Luffy then stood up as he saw the pirate empress taking a bath, and then she turns to Luffy, who looked utter shocked and then stepped out of the bath. A man, she spoke. Hey, that thing on your back, Luffy said as he pointed to the pirate empress's back and then falls down. It looks familiar. The pirate empress was a slave. If I say anything about that, she might kill me. Luffy thought I must not falter about her attraction. Suddenly, 2 of her sisters entered the bathroom after they heard a loud crash. Big sister, what's the matter? Marigold asked. I heard a big crash. Are you okay? What happened? Sandersonia asked. But then, Sonia and Mari looked at Luffy, who was sweat dropping in fear. Am I seeing things, or is that a man? What is a man doing on our island? Marigold asked, and then Hancock stepped out of her bathtub. And they remained to look at Luffy, who was still sweat dropping. Cover yourself, sister. Damn it, this going to be a drag, Luffy said to himself. The secret is out. He saw my back, Hancock said without emotion, causing the two sisters to freak out. Those who saw our backs can't be left alive, Marigold said as she and Sonia are preparing to attack. You got to be kidding me. Luffy said, I'm not following your terms. What you saw is a secret. We would to die to protect, Hancock said, or rather we killed to protect. Seriously, can't I leave? Luffy asked. You can leave once you have a grave, Hancock, as her hands starting form a heart. Marrow/love beam, as a beam of a heart started going the direction of Luffy's standing, but Luffy didn't budge the attack, which resulted to him not getting stoned. Hancock tried it again but didn't work the second time, which caused all three of them to look in shocked. Did you think I would falter? Luffy asked while tilting his head. Why would you transform into stone? Hancock said, does he not feel any attraction of me after seeing me in a bath? That's simply impossible. No man can resist her beauty, or any creature of the world, Marigold said. His fear of death must be overwhelming in him. He might be a loser, but he is a lucky one, Sonia said. Okay, I'm too young to know this, Luffy said. I need to get out here before this get more is weirder, and I need to find my stuff. Luffy jumps out of the window. He is crazy as he can fall from this high up, Marigold said. Don't worry. He won't escape, Hancock said as she yes, her finger forming a heart on her finger. Pistol, a heart shots Luffy in the guts, but it didn't bounce off of him, which caused him to hold his stomach in pain. HAKI, Luffy said. I should have expected more. That actually hurt. Luffy activated his armament, and blue aura started surrounding his fist. Blue vortex. Luffy punches the heart bullet at a fortress that was hanging on the mountain walls and made it explode. Suddenly, Luffy comes crashing down onto the ground in front of the Kuja tribe. That man is a dangerous intruder, Hancock said. Kuja pirates, go capture him. Yes, Snake Princess Ran said. A man? How did a man get here? Doesn't matter, Daisy answered. Let's just go capture the bastard. The Kuja tribe agreed and went to go capture Luffy, who was on the ground. Damn, this is going to be a pain, Luffy said, and then the Kuja tribe was surround him and pointed arrows at him. Come with us if you want to live, Ran said. Yeah, no thanks. I'll live on my own, Luffy replied. He is pretty scrawny, Ran. But no man alive is stupid enough to defy the Kuja warriors, Daisy said. Kuja warriors, what a drag, Luffy said. There is not much I can do in this island but running. This is Amazon Lily. You men don't leave here alive, Ran said, since you are trespassing, because Amazon Lily is forbidden for all men. Men sure are dumb and a bunch of losers, Daisy said. Suddenly, Ran shoots her arrow at Luffy only for him to dodge, and then Luffy stretches his arms to the poles. Goma rocket! Luffy shoots himself in the air before the Kuja warriors could grab him. After him, he must not leave here alive, Ran said. You heard that Snake Princess's order. He can't escape. Then, a woman warns the villagers of Amazonians about Luffy's presences on the island and tell them to help out with the Kuja warriors, and then the villagers started searching for Luffy. Taking care of a man at a time like this, Nyan said. I'm worried about our future since she is in charge of this island. Marguerite POV. Looks like the Kuja pirates are back, Marguerite said. Which means the man was returned back to the village, Kikyo said. There he is, Aphalandra said up there as she pointed to where Luffy was. Luffy was sitting on a house that was on the mountain wall, and then taking a moment to breathe. Alright, I need to study this island. Which means I need to know where the entrance, the exit, and the bases of this island if I want to find my sword and way to get out of here, Luffy said. Let's see. Where would a place for swords could go? As soon he was searching, an arrow was shot at him, but he dodged, seeing that the Kuja tribe found him again. Are you kidding me? Did they put a search party of my presence on the island? Luffy said as he was jumping from the roof. We must kill him before the Snake Princess interrogates him, Kikyo said, and then Luffy makes his way to an alleyway before going back out there. I'm sure Sanji would enjoy this place, Luffy said to himself, although he might die or get stoned by the Pirate Empress due to his pervert personality. I wonder what island he ended up to. Like I said, I need to study this place. He then stood up and got out of the alleyway, and then sneak around to dodge the Kuja tribe, but got caught instantly, and then he flew away. Alright, looks like I'm good here for a few seconds, Luffy said as he drinks one bottle of sake before the Kuja tribe could get to him, and then Granny Nyan looked away from her newspaper to look at Luffy, who was finishing his sake, and then Luffy was starting to run. Wait, Nyan, so fast? Nyan said as he took another look at the newspaper, and then look at Luffy. The superhuman of paradise, and known as the Fifth Emperor, But why is he here? Nyan thought. But then, the Kuja tribe found Luffy again. Shit! I have to run. Sorry, can't talk right now, Luffy said as he was running. Wait a minute, let me have one last look at your face, Nyan said, but Luffy ignored her as he jumped into the air. I said, wait a minute. As he drops on Luffy, making him crash into a building. Ouch. This island is nuts, Luffy said. My back was almost broken by that old lady, and then the Kuja tribe surrounded him. Looks like you're caught now, Ran said as the Kuja tribe pointed their arrows at Luffy, and then Luffy puts his hands up, officially surrendering. Too late. Kikyo said the Kuja pirates captured him. There is nothing we can do. We must prepare for the worst, Sweep, he said. Luffy was grabbed by Kuja warriors and was taken to arena where they planned to execute him, and then Granny Nyan looks at him, who was sweat dropping, and then calmed down a bit and partially smiled. Few minutes later, Luffy was cuffed by iron snakes while a whole crowd of women was seated in the arena of where Luffy was going to be executed. How did I get into this mess? Luffy said. This is not what I planned on. Luffy then tried to get out the snake's cuffs but couldn't. He was cuffed to his leg. I wanted to reach out to my crew so I can tell what I was planning on, but I don't think I can do so for right now. For right now, I need to know where this will go, damn it. Firstly, I end up on this island, wake up in the cell, getting hunted down, and accidentally crash into the Empress bath. And now an execution. What a drag, when suddenly the whole crowd started yelling as the pirate Empress walking to her snake chair. Let's hope Marguerite doesn't take part of this, otherwise me and her will be dead, Luffy thought as he was still sweat dropping. Please don't make this worse for you, Marguerite, as he looked at Marguerite and shook his no, telling her to not interfere with the execution. And then she agreed as she shook head in a yes. I'm ready for my explanation now, Hancock said. How did someone like a man get onto the island, and what are you doing? I was sent flying by one of the 7 warlords, Luffy answered. I have no intentions of staying here. I'm trying to find a way on how to get in touch with my crew members. You think I believe an unlikely story, Hancock said. Lying will give you an unfaithful death on this island, since all men are banned from this island. You think I want to stay on some ugly island like this? Luffy asked out loudly, causing everyone to shout at him for yelling at the Snake Princess and calling the island ugly. Say all of the insults you want, but don't change a thing about what I said. You just made worse for yourself, man, Hancock said. I hereby sentence you to execution. And then Luffy just sighed, and then some of the Amazonians were yelling to execute him immediately. But before we execute you, I've heard a rumor that someone had brought you the village, she said, making Luffy's eye widen, but Luffy didn't say a word about it, and just ignored his words. But then Hancock pointed at the 3 women and told them to stand next to Luffy, and Luffy began to start sweat dropping. Again, tell me, you 3 girls, did you help out this man when he got to the island? Don't lie to me. The 3 girls were sweat dropping in fear to even answer to the Snake Princess. But then Marguerite answered for them, and they said that they thought Luffy was a woman who was unconscious in the forest. Then, the Snake Princess smirks. All right then, I'll forgive you, Hancock said, which made the 3 girls' sweat drops disappear from their face. But once Luffy foresaw the future, he tried to warn them but couldn't do anything as he was still cuffed onto the floor. Love beam! Hancock shoots the love beam towards the 3 girls, making them turn into stone and make Luffy and the entire crowd shocked, and then Hancock walked back to her snake chair. Who the hell snitched? Luffy said to himself before he saw Kikyo sweating, but then Luffy turns pissed. Release Bakura. To execute the man who stepped foot on this island and execute the woman who helped the man, Hancock said as a Black Panther appearing right behind Luffy, who didn't pay any attention and stood calm until he could be released. Marguerite is part of people. Why are you punishing her? Because what I had caused, Luffy said. Why do you care about her life more than yours? Hancock asked. You're about to be execution in a few moments. As soon as the snake cuffs got off of Luffy's arms and legs. Apparently, Bakura hasn't eaten in several days, Marigold said. You're lucky that Bakura isn't toying or torturing you right now, man. Sonia. Go to hell, Luffy said as he was grinning viciously, and then the 3 sisters were insulted. Meanwhile, the crowd of women was insulting him again. Bakura, execute him now, Hancock ordered Bakura, and then Bakura pounces on Luffy, but only for Luffy to use Sora, which caused everyone, even the panther. Suddenly, Bakura gets punched in the face. If you're hungry, then go eat the ground, Luffy yelled. You piece of panther shit, he said as he knocks out Bakura in a single blow, and making him crash out of the arena, which made everyone's eyes widen. And then Hancock clenched her fist and then felt angry. Did he just knock out Bakura with one punch? Ran asked. Does he even have haki? What the hell is strength? Daisy said. Scared yet? Anyone who punishes someone who others causes should be sent to hell, Luffy exclaimed very coldly. People will forgive me. Because I'm beautiful, Hancock exclaimed, showing her beauty, while everyone's eyes turned into heart shape. Meanwhile, Luffy looked at her with disgust. Beautiful? I think the opposite. The only thing I see in you is ugliness, and I can say that 1,000,000 times, Luffy said, making everyone's eyes widen at Luffy. He wasn't even slightly affected by the most beautiful women. Gloriosa was among them. She was stunned to see the 5th Emperor and Superhuman of Paradise was able to resist pure beauty. Either he was dumb, or he didn't the woman beautiful and let the urge to say that in front of them. Hancock felt broken in the inside, and her sister were comforting her, and then the whole arena started yelling at Luffy for saying such thing about the Snake Princess. Sonia and Mari handle the execution and take his head for good, Hancock said. The two sisters agreed and jumped down to the arena and turned into snakes, but then Luffy puts Marguerite and the others behind the arena and then crack his knuckles. 2 snake devil fruits, fine by me. I'll let you have the first hit, Luffy said, smirking. And then the 2 snakes attack, but then Luffy jumps on into the air and kicking away the snakes' tails and activates his armament haki. Bring it on. I love a fight, but I wish I had my sword. Your sword? Sonia asked. Oh, you mean the sword that back at the castle, making Luffy's eyes widen. Apparently someone gave us your sword after we figured out that you were here at the island. Someone said specifically it holds the 8 secret arts and can be dangerous. The only person who can control that power is you, right? Luffy was angrily attacking Sonia but was grabbed by Mari's snake tail. Without your sword, how can you beat us? Marigold asked mockingly. And how will you save your friends? Sonia picks up the stone Marguerite with her tail. Damn you too! Luffy said. I swear I'm kick your ass once I'm out his tail's grip. Now, you haven't said nice things about us, Sonia said. I think it's time we give you what you deserve for being rude to us ever since you got to the island, causing the crowd to be in shock. Sonia was about to drop Marguerite and going to make the statue crack, and then Luffy was officially pissed. Screw you, Luffy said as he unleashing his Conqueror's Haki. Sonia had almost smashed Marguerite but was stopped by Luffy's Conqueror's Haki, making nearly the entire arena faint. Marigold let go of Luffy and then Sonia leg of Marguerite's statue, and then catches her and checked to see if she didn't have any cracks. He just made the Kuja warriors faint. An Amazonian said. Unreal. That was Conqueror's Haki. Rand said. He does have Haki after all. He was able to control it, let alone. Daisy said. Who the hell is this boy? Is he that strong? Hancock said. Does he has a power that we don't know? Is he toying with us? Scared now? Looks like y'all are frightened by my power, Luffy said, mocking the 2 snake sisters, and then grinned. Now then, show me what you got. Come show your true power. Don't hesitate, finish him off. Don't let scare you, Hancock said. If you let him get you, then you're going to make a mockery of the Amazon Lily and the Kuja tribe. And then the 2 sisters snapped out of it and pay attention to Luffy, who was smiling murderously. I accept the challenge, Luffy said. Don't underestimate yourself. You're rather confident than any other man, aren't you? Sonia said. Isn't that right? Since he has Haki, we need to step up our game. It's 2 against 1. We have nothing to fear. He doesn't get any weapons on him, Marigold said. Luffy then foresees the future, and then grinned at them. Since he is grinning like he is telling to bring it on. Let's show him what we made of, Sonia said as she swings her tail at Luffy only for him to block with armament. Marigold then spits poison at Luffy only for him to deflect it out of the arena. Now why would I let poison get into the arena if it's going to mess me up? Luffy said, only for him to smell poison in the arena. The hell is going on? Luffy thought to himself as he dodges another spit of poison. Why do I smell poison in the arena? As he dodges another spit of poison. What the hell? First I dodged, then Luffy foresees the future to see what was going on. I see. So that's how the devil fruit's poison works, he said as he deflects the poison officially out of the arena, making it fall in the ground of spikes. So, you understand the poison I'm sending, Marigold said. But Luffy didn't interact with the conversation and then blocks a tail whip, almost making him fall out of the arena, but only for him to get stabbed on the side of his stomach by Marigold, and then Luffy coughed up blood and then holds the side of his stomach. That is just what I want to see, my sisters, Hancock said. And then she sees Luffy pulls a murderous grin that could fear anyone. He was still grinning after being stabbed. You just got stabbed, and after that, You're still grinning, Sonia said, and then Luffy just laughed for a few minutes. Why are you laughing? A normal person would scream in pain if they got stabbed that much, Luffy said while still grinning, but the last thing I need is to scream in pain. But for this, it counts for me as a scratch, he said as he wipes the blood of his hands and slid the poison out of the arena to make it seem easier for him to fight now. Then, since the poison is gone, I have much more clear point of defeating you. But how can you defeat us when you don't have your swords? Sonia asked while laughing at the boy, and then pulled a murderous grin again. Who said I only use swords in a fight? Luffy asked, tilting his head while grinning, making the Snake Sisters raise an eyebrow. I may not have my sword with me, but I have combat and a devil fruit as he activates his armament HAKI and his gear second. How does that going to defeat you? Marigold asked. You really don't know who I am, do you? Luffy asked. Well, that is going to be a shame. It's really no use, man, Sonia said as he swings her tail around and attacks Luffy only for him to dodge it with Saru. Goma Goma Jet Stamp. Luffy hits Sonia with his foot coated in HAKI, making her fall down. Sonia, are you alright? Mari asked, and then tries to slice Luffy only for him to dodge, and Luffy lands on top of her. Those who are underestimate their enemy, Luffy said as purple electric particles surround his purple HAKI-coated fist, weaken themselves, and then he jumps into the air. Power purple. Luffy punches the air of where Marigold is standing, resulting Marigold getting smashed into the ground with gravity pressing her to the ground. All of the Amazonians were shocked to Luffy's power. Meanwhile, Hancock was getting irritated by the power. Sonia, Mari, Hancock said, getting her sister's attention. I recall, you were supposed to the man's head, not get outstayed by his foolish power. Sister, Marigold said. I refuse to tolerate any longer by the man, Hancock said. Yes, sister, we will soon finish him off immediately, Sonia said. Suddenly, Sonia and Mari are surrounding Luffy, who is cracking his knuckles. Medusa hair, 8-headed serpents. Sonia's hair started forming into python snakes that behave like iron. Medusa's hair, salamander. Mari sets herself on fire, and her hair started forming into salamander snakes. There is no hope for you, man, Sonia said. Soon enough, Sonia and Mari's hair started going into to attack. Goma Goma, lightning jet Galtling. Luffy combines his devil fruit and his 6 arts, and starting attack the Snake Sisters, causing them to deform their snake hair and then hitting them in the guts. Sonia then caught on fire by Mari's fire body. Everyone's eye widens to see what had happened. Sonia then falls over the stances, nearly landing on the pit of blades. This is absolutely embarrassing, pathetic, Hancock said, but then she sees that Sonia's back is wide open, which anyone can see the slave mark her back. It's exposed. Luffy then runs over to cover Sonia's back. Hot shit, Luffy said as he landed on Sonia's back and covers her mark with his coat. Hancock was in shock to see what he was doing. Meanwhile, the crowd was yelling at him. What are you doing? Sonia asked Mari. Hurry and finish him. Will you calm down? Luffy said. Do you want your back to expose to your people? Sonia's eyes widen. Her clothing was burned off from Mari's fire body, but she saw it was covered in Luffy's coat. I don't want to kill you, I'm just protecting you. This execution was failed. Everyone, you must be evacuated here immediately, Hancock said. Don't gaze upon the Gorgon eyes. And then Amazonians started leaving the arena. Are they gone? Sonia asked. Yeah, I think so, Luffy answered as he took off his coat from Sonia's back. So, what now? As he grabbed Marguerite and the other statue. You can turn them back, right? Making Hancock eyes to widen. It's not their problem, it's mine. They didn't do anything wrong. Of course I can choose to reverse the effect, Hancock said. To be clear, didn't you said you needed to do or go somewhere? Yeah, what about it? Luffy asked. I just need something to contact my crew members. I see, I have bad news. You must decide, Hancock exclaimed. You can either choose one and forget the other. That's all I'm willing to do. Then she smirked, and then her sisters partially laughed at him. Now then, let's see your true nature. Boy, Hancock thought. Fair enough, that's great. You can turn them back now, Luffy said, causing the 3 sisters to be in shock. Great deal. Thank you so much. And then the 3 of them were stunned to see Luffy's true nature. He wasn't going to have them be stoned since they helped me. I should help them back. Hancock then walks down from her chair to reverse the effect of Marguerite, Sweet Pea and Aphalandra. Few minutes later, Luffy POV. Luffy was told to meet Hancock and her sisters back at the castle. They later gave him his sword back and apologized for taking it and saving their lives. Luffy simply told them it's water under the bridge. So, what did you say what wanted from me? Luffy asked, confused, as he was leaning against a pole that was in Hancock's room. So, what actually happened with you and your crew? Sonia asked Luffy. Well, one of the 7 warlords, Kuma, sent my whole crew and me flying to a different islands, I assume. Why did he do that? Hancock asks. Beats me. I was fighting Kizaru when he jumped into my fight with him, Luffy said. Sounds like he was trying to save you and your crew, Hancock said, but he disagreed. More like saving both of us, Luffy said. I was about to finish off Kizaru, but he jumped in and started making my crew fly to random island. I tried to stop him, but I keep on getting intervened by the Light Admiral, and before Kuma teleported me, he told specifically that I was not ready for the new world. You are really strong, aren't you? Marigold said, but why were you fighting an Admiral? Because Kuma intervened. Well, with that one, it's a crazy ride, I should say, Granny Nyan said as she was walking into the castle. Elder Nyan, Hancock said, annoyed. Why are you here? I only came here to have a talk with this boy, Nyan said as she turned to Luffy. Your monkey D. Luffy, right? Yeah, that's me, Luffy said. If I recall, you're Gloriosa, right? Yeah, I am. But how do you know me? Gloriosa asked. Rayleigh and Shaki told me about you, Luffy answered. I asked them about the Rocks pirates and the members of the crew. Your monkey D. Luffy, the 5th Emperor and the superhuman? Hancock asked, and he nodded. Yeah, that's me. I was surprised that you didn't recognize me in the arena, Luffy said, although I had a good fight after these days. It's good to see that they got to see your true nature, Gloriosa said. Now about the rocks. What do you know about them? For starters, my true name isn't Monkey D. Luffy answered, causing all of them to raise an eyebrow. My real name is Rocks D. Luffy, grandson of Rocks D. XEBEC, he said casually, making everyone open their eyes. But I am the grandson of Monkey D. Garp Oswell from my mother's side of the family. He then sighed. I asked them the truth of God Valley, and what had happened to Grandpa Rocks after he was defeated by that old geezer and Roger. You know, Rayleigh, Sonia asked. I've read some of books about him, and met him whenever Shanks introduced me to him, Luffy answered. So you know, the Rocks pirates and Rayleigh. What about the Admiral's situation? Hancock asked. It's stated in the newspaper. Just a few days before he arrived, he and his crew caused an incident at Subodi Archipelago which anyone could do the impossible. He encountered a celestial dragon. Not only that, but they also killed one of them, Gloriosa said, making the 3 of them widen their eyes. The celestial dragon attacked an Emperor's crew, and they killed him without hesitation. It's his fault. He tried to take one of my crew members to be his property, Luffy answered. Meanwhile, the girls were still in shock. He thought that I would give her to him, and when we told him to back off, he threatened to kill and slave my crew. What happened next? Marigold asked. We ended up freeing the slaves and tell them to call the revolutionaries, and soon enough the Admiral came, Luffy said, although I was planning on throwing the moron's body into the sea. But the Sea Kings told me not to throw him into the sea. You are able to listen to Sea Kings? Gloriosa asked surprisingly. Yeah, I can, Luffy answered. It's a special ability that I could share with the previous pirate king and a Wano samurai called Odin. It's named the Voice of All Things. That's amazing, Hancock said cheerfully, making Luffy and Hancock's sister's sweat drop. So if you didn't throw the celestial dragon into the sea, what happened? I asked one of my crew members to place somewhere where it could rot, Luffy said, which made the conflict even worse when the knights were there and Kizaru showed up. How did that go down? Sonia asked. He was chatting me into things after seeing me 8 years ago, Luffy answered. He then said something about killing me, but I started toying with until Kuma appeared between us and started attacking us one by one. I tried to get Kuma to stop, but I keep on getting blocked by Kizaru and some fat man, even though I keep on snapping Kizaru's body parts. I have no clue where my crew went to. How do you know that they were sent flying? The elder asked, making the 3 sisters curious. I know Kuma's devil fruit, which I hate the most, Luffy answered, plus I would be calling myself Monkey D. Luffy in general, but my true is Rocks D. Luffy, the son of Rocks D. Dragon, and Monkey D. Rose, grandson of Rocks and grandson of Garp. By the way, Kuma is a revolutionary and is a good friend of my dad. You're the son of Rose, the strongest assassin? Hancock asked, suddenly surprised. You know her? Luffy asked. She used to come here every year once after she see her son, which she didn't tell us about, Sonia answered. Once a year? Luffy asked, confused. Wait, why do I get the feeling that Mama used to make fun of me every time she visits you? Let's just say she does make fun of you, Marigold said. She was describing and saying things about, but she didn't share a name. I swear Mama will do anything to embarrass me, Luffy said to himself. Yeah, she said that you were the golden child in your family, and your stepfamily, Hancock said, but Luffy agreed on that. Yeah, still planning on meeting and my cousins, Luffy said. Anyways, I'm confused on why you brought me here in the first place. Well, it's best if I show you, Hancock said. Luffy then saw her turn around and put down her dress to show him her back. He immediately recognized the horrible mark and widened his eyes. I was a slave many years ago. I was kidnapped when I was 8, and although my sisters and I suffer as many others did, it wasn't enough to break us free, and we were still traumatized till this day. We were lucky that the moron who brought us in wasn't the worst out of all of them. If you are asking that I see you as a slave or cared that you were a slave, I don't, Luffy said. My goal is become Pirate King and oppose against the world government, which means declaring and ending the celestial dragons. Hancock puts her dress back on and turned around. Luffy noticed that she had tears, and so he calmed her down. After she stopped crying, she hugged him, making Luffy blush a bit, but took a breath and ignored the blushing part. Anyways, you do know that I'm an emperor and you are a warlord, Luffy said as they break off the hug, which means you're working with the government to protect your home. Yeah, I know, Hancock said, but I hate it that way. Well, I was hoping I could make Amazon Lily my territory, Luffy said, but it's up to you if you want. I would like to, Hancock said, but we have a problem. I was called to attend an execution that's going to take place in Marineford, which made Luffy shiver in fear a bit. That's right. Whitebeard's 2nd Division commander. Poor Gasty, Ace Gloriosa said, and Luffy facepalmed at those words. You got to be kidding, Luffy said. They are going to execute Ace. I swear, that idiot. You know him? Gloriosa asked him, surprised. He is my sworn stepbrother of the family, Luffy answered, annoyed. What a jackass. Why are you angry about this? Sandersonia asked him. Because he might have gotten turned in by a traitor in his division, and I warned him to not go after him, Luffy answered. Even Shanks knew about that bastard, warned him about. Ace was stubborn to even listen to simple directions, and only care about revenge. What will you do? Hancock asked. I need to call my crew and fleet and probably make some allies at the war and call Shanks, and try to reach out to my cousins, Luffy answered. My cousin is probably bored right now. They would do anything for me, Ace and Sable, and we would do anything for them. What is your plan of action with your fleet? Hancock asked. I will invade and pelt down for now and free some people who might help during the war, Luffy answered. Damn it, Kuma! Spectral said as he was still flying through the air. Spectral was still thinking about Kuma being in Sabaody. It looked like he was trying to save Kizaru from almost getting beaten to the pulp by Luffy. He was still trapped in a paw-shaped bubble that was going to an unknown location of where he doesn't know. He had a small injury on his shoulder, as he was fighting the knights and pacifistas and marines, and then Kuma started to appear and attack the crew. Suddenly his paw-shaped bubble burst and then started to fall down, but landed on his feet and then making him crash into a middle of nowhere. Who are you? A young blonde man asked. I'm Spectral, one of Straw Hat's crew members, Spectral answered casually. Oh, you're one of my little brother's strongest commanders of his crew, the blonde man said. How did you get here? Kuma the warlord sent the whole crew flying, Spectral answered. We were fighting an admiral along with some pacifistas. Well, come with us. We will let you come to our base. A girl behind him said. We let you meet Dragon, and I'm pretty sure one of your crew members is here. Oswell. Lumen! Robin shouts out right behind them. Over here. It's good to see you. Robin! Spectral yells out to Robin. It's good to see you again. Spectral and Robin then share a hug for a few moments before going to the base of the Revolutionary Army. Sakura Kingdom, Drum Island. Kaya's POV. Damn, that big guy had really caught her off guard. By the time she realized, she was inside a strange bubble going towards an unknown place. She didn't know how much time went by as they were sent flying until the bubble started to pop, making her fall down, and she crashed on what it looks like snow. Who are you? A familiar voice said. Wait, you are that long-nosed girlfriend, aren't you? She then looked up to see Dr. Kureha, Chopper's teacher. Possibly, Kaya answered. How did you get here? Kureha asked. Shouldn't you be with your crew? Well, I was, before that warlord Kuma sent us flying, Kaya answered. I think we ended up at different islands. I see. Let's go back to my castle, Kureha said, and Kaya nodded and made their way back to the castle. New World, Kamugi Island. Isaac's POV. Isaac was yelling at himself for not saving one of his crew members in time by Kuma the warlord, and now she was flying towards an unknown island in the New World in a paw-shaped bubble. He didn't know how to get out until it burst, resulting him to fall down and crash at a random part of the island, and then he was approached by two people. Who are you? Young man, a tall man asked. I feel like I seen you before. I'm Isaac, crew member of Straw Hat, Luffy Isaac answered. which caused the man to feel surprised. "So, you're part of Luffy's crew," the tall man said. "My name is Charlotte Katakuri and this Charlotte Bruley, my little sister." "You know Luffy?" Isaac asked. "Yeah, he used to come here in teenage years with his aunt." Bruley answered for him. "What happened, and how did you get here?" "Do you know the 7 warlords?" Isaac asked, and then 2 of them nodded. "Kuma sent the whole crew flying 2 different islands." "I see. So what's your intention on being here?" Katakuri asked. "I don't know. I need to hear back from my captain if he is alright," Isaac answered. "Say, Isaac, Luffy mentioned something leadership and freedom 4 years ago." Katakuri said. "What did he mean by that?" "He told me that as leadership means a leader must show loyalty to their crew members, which means they need to show kindness and respect to others. But if someone doesn't respect their leader, then they don't get respect back. But if you abuse your power of being a leader, then there is no reason for someone to be in charge of you." Isaac said. "Luffy was born to lead, and he is an amazing captain. He shows kindness and respect his crew." "And what does the freedom part mean?" Bruley asks. "Freedom means you can do whatever they want. You can be free to find or follow your own dreams. You can explore the world. You can visit all of the libraries or fight all of the swordsmen, or even make your own pirate and sail across the world. That's the life of being a pirate. You can be free to go anywhere or do anything you like," Isaac answered, making Katakuri think about his life. He has always been serving to Mama but never knows what it's like to have leadership and freedom ever since Luffy mentioned about it. Flashback 4 years ago. "Listen, Katakuri, you may be a good person, but have you wondered what it's meant to show leadership and to have a freedom?" Luffy said, and then it made Katakuri think about. But he was clueless, and then Luffy just laughed. "You'll get it someday. However, I'm not sure if your mama isn't going to tell you what it means. You have to ask someone about it. Either they know me or friends or with me, or someone knows the meaning of it. Until then, Katakuri, I'll see you soon." As he walked back to his ship with his Aunt Raven and then heading back to East Blue, Katakuri had to think about it ever since Luffy had mentioned it. "Oni-chan," young Smoothie said, calling out his big brother. "Katakuri, what are you thinking about?" "It's nothing really much, Smoothie," Katakuri answered. "I'm just thinking the words that Luffy just mentioned to me." "Luffy-sama mentioned words to you?" Smoothie asked, confused. "What did he say?" "He asked me if I know the meaning of leadership and freedom," Katakuri answered. "Leadership and freedom, does he know the meaning of it?" Smoothie asked. "Seems like it. He didn't tell me about it. The only way for me to figure out the meaning is that I need to find someone who knows about the true meaning of it, or meet one of Luffy's friends," Katakuri answered. "So, you're saying that Luffy knows the answer of leadership and freedom?" Smoothie said. "Something tells me that Luffy wasn't born to serve, he was born to lead as one," Katakuri said. After he left, he gave this note. Katakuri pulls out the note from his pocket and showing to Smoothie. "Listen, Katakuri. Someone might give out the answer from outside of Tato Land, or someone might come up to you with answers. Once you figure it out, choose your own faith in life," the note said, and then Katakuri put it back in his pocket. Flashback ends. "Hey Isaac, are you hungry by chance?" Katakuri asked him. "Yeah, I am. I would prefer anything," Isaac answered. "Like donuts?" Katakuri asked, and then Isaac and Katakuri give him a plate of 4 donuts. Nuts Island, Vivi POV. She was punching the bubble as she was yelling at herself because she didn't Kuma the warlord get close to her, and was unable to be saved by Isaac, and she was flying towards an unknown island with a paw-shaped bubble right before it pops and fallen down, and then crash into a building. "Who are you supposed to be?" a long-necked woman asked. "You sure look quite familiar." "I'm Vivi, one of the Straw Hats," Vivi answered. "Straw Hats, so your captain is Luffy, am I correct?" Amanda asked, and Vivi shook his head. "Yeah, he is." "How do you know him?" Vivi said. "He used to visit here 4 years ago. With his aunt, I believe," Amanda answered. "Geez, Luffy's family is going one crazy family tree, I could say," Vivi said to himself. "His family tree?" Amanda asked, confused. "You will know soon enough if you meet him again," Vivi exclaimed. "Anyways, do you a place I can crash until I hear back from Luffy? I was separated from my crew." "Well, I'm the governor of this island," Amanda answered. "I can let you have a place to stay." "Thank you," Vivi said, and then Amanda smiled. "And the other Straw Hats go the same place as a cannon." Amazon Lily, Luffy POV. Calling all fleet commanders of the Straw Hats. "Can anyone hear me?" Luffy asks as he was using a special snail that can't be tracked down by the Marines. "Commander Buggy here," Buggy said. "Commander Kid, I hear you loud and clear," Captain Kid said. A/N. Kid became a commander of his fleet after he lost to Luffy. "What can we do for you?" Captain Broggy said. "My stepbrother Ace has been captured by the Marines," Luffy said. "We are joining Whitebeard and his crew in the war." "That might sound risky, But we will do anything we can, Makita said. This will sound fun, Dory said. Great, I'll get more allies on the way, Luffy said. Galdino, go infiltrate the Marines and get help from Bon Clay. Once you're there, knock out the executioners and impersonate them by using your wax powers. Sounds like a great plan, but difficult, Galdino said. I will do anything, whatever I can. Great, Luffy said. The rest of prepare to raid Impel Down. That will sound difficult, but we will do it, Buggy said. Buggy, if I may ask, how much did you respect your former captain? Luffy asked. He was like a father to me. Why'd Buggy ask? Because Ace's real name is Gold. Ace, Luffy answered. Then this mission is personal, Buggy said. I'll do anything to recuse my former captain's son. Man, get ready. We will get everything situated, Captain Makita said. Here as well, Broggy said. Thanks, catch you later, Luffy said. Once he hangs up, he took out another one to communicate with his crew. This is Luffy. Can anyone hear me through here? Luffy. Nami said. You are okay. I'm doing okay on my part. Spectral said. Same here. Robin said. So, what is the plan? I'm afraid we can't come back yet. The Navy had declared war on us again by trying to execute Ace, Luffy said. So here is the plan of the war. Find your way to Marineford and then remember on where your island is after it's done, because we are going to back. No! Sanji cried. Please. I don't want to return back to this hell. Well, if that's what you want, fine by me, Luffy started. He heard Sanji sighed in relief. But when we return back, Zoro and Spectral is going to return stronger than you, so which means you're going to admit that he is the second strongest of the crew. There is no way I will say that. Sanji said, annoyed. I will return back here, if it's necessary. Damn, looks like Pervycook is not giving up so easily after all, Zoro said. Shut up, Moss Head, Sanji said, and don't ever call me that. Sanji-kun, a voice said that sounded like a male trying to sound like a female, which made Luffy and the other Straw Hats laughed at him. Looks like Sanji is in a tough situation, Vivi said. I can't imagine the suffering he is going through, Isaac said. Usopp, I recommend you save him first, Luffy said. Let him rest for a few hours before returning and staying for 2 years. 2 years, Sanji said with panic in his voice. Yeah, that's right, Luffy said. After the war is done, we will train for 2 years, because before I got teleported, Kuma said directly that weren't ready for the new world. Trust me when I say this. We are going to encounter emperors soon enough. If we are going to train after the war, then we must not let our guard down during the war. Spectral said they are going to be admirals at Marineford. Yeah, there are, Luffy said. Frankie, get the Sunny ready. This is about to become an all-out war once we get to Marineford. You got it, Captain, Frankie said. Shanks will be there. Also, I might bring some family members to be our allies during the war, Luffy said. The Marines will regret the day they messed with 3 Yonkos. What will you do, Luffy? Vivi asked. As for me, I'm going to Impel Down, Luffy answered, and get more people to join our fleet. Now then, since my crew knows the objective, now time to do my part as they arrive at Marineford, Luffy said. I'll tell Sengoku I'm out of the warlords and will be assisting you, your crew and your cousins. Hancock said. I'll put up your flag for the island as soon as we head out. It might take a while for us to get to Impel Down. It's best if we use a warship, Sandersonia. It's a quicker way to infiltrate them. But we are going to have to bypass the sailors, Hancock said. I suggest you use your power, if we want to do that, Gloriosa replied. However, Sengoku is senile but not a fool. How about take out the low-class Marines and deal with the superiors, Luffy said. If we are going to Impel Down. That could work, Gloriosa exclaimed. Now I need to be careful if I'm going to be down there, Luffy said, because the warden is one big bastard with a dangerous devil fruit. He has to kill you with poison really much, Hancock said. As long as I don't screw my part up, I should be okay, Luffy said. Let's go. 1 week later, Impel Down. Luffy was sleeping on the couch in the warship when he heard a voice, and then woke up immediately. Luffy, we are here, Hancock said, and then Luffy was yawning and got off the count and exited the room and saw the prison. Might as well go undercover if we are going to break in. Contact my fleet and tell them to start attacking the Marines from the outside. Wait until they know we are here. We may be lucky if they haven't taken Ace already and cancelled the war. If not, the Marines are expecting hell sooner or later. You heard him. Let's go, Hancock said. Soon the Marines started to arrive, and the Marines were confused but didn't ask why the Vice Admiral was missing. They had thought that he was sleeping on the warship. What are they doing? Are suspecting something? Luffy asked while tilting his head. We need them to back off before our cover is blown. He is in charge of escorting me, Hancock said. Alright then, one of them said. Follow us. After being introduced by the Vice Warden, who was a ING weirdo, they went to a room. Luffy just followed and waiting till the time was right, she turns everyone to stone in the room, except for Luffy. Hurry, hide, she said, go first, and I'll join everyone from the outside, be careful. I will, Luffy replied, they will be wondering where he is sooner or later. They won't notice your absences, Hancock said, now, go. Luffy nodded and started to run as fast as he can meet you at Marineford. Take care, Hancock said, somewhere in the Grand Line. Hey, did you hear, little cousin? Luffy said they will be war. A tall man said they will be executing Ace, the 2nd Division commander of Whitebeards, also our step-cousin of the family along with Sabo. We should help out of cousins, a blue-hair girl said. After all, Damon, the Rocks and Monkey family are the elite families in the world. Don't get ahead of yourself, Terra, a man said as he crossing his feet. There will be admirals at Marineford. We must be cautious. But I agree we should help out Luffy, considering our boss is his mother, also our aunt. The cautious talk, huh? Real, we are criminals, assassins, and other girls said. We are the 2nd threat organization along with the Revolutionary Army. Don't be like that, Sora. It's best if we leave right away and not waste time, another girl said. The minute we waste, the more Ace will likely get executed, and Luffy is probably on his way right now. Amy is right. I heard Luffy is heading to impel down. Damon said we should the boss that we are going to war, if she is helping us. It's too early for him to meet his mother, Damon, another woman said. Surely Aunt Rose sees him every year, but I feel like too early for her to see him again. Yeah, Sadie is right, Terra said. Enough talk. We need get going right now. We can't keep our cousin waiting for much longer. Baltaigo, Sabo POV. Chief, is something wrong? A revolutionary asked. Where are you going? There will be war. The Navy has declared war since they are planning to execute Ace, Sabo answered. Fire Fist Ace, another revolutionary asked, confused. What do you know about him besides him being the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeards? Ace is my brother, Sabo answered, making the revolutionaries feel shocked. He was my brother along with Luffy. You may know him as the superhuman of paradise, or the 5th Emperor. The revolutionaries feel utter shocked about Sabo's answer. What kind of brotherhood do you guys have? The first revolutionary asked. Believe me, my little brother is something I should say, Sabo answered with a smile. Hey, Sabo, Spectral said, and then Sabo turned around. Let me tag along. Luffy had plans for the war, and he wants me and the crew at the war. The revolutionaries turned around to see Spectral, and they looked shocked. Poison King Spectral, the revolutionaries said. He's here. How did he get here? Sabo invited me here, along with a friend who landed here with me. Spectral answered. You can come out if you want. It's very nice to meet you, revolutionaries, Robin said with a smile, and then the revolutionaries were more shocked. Demon Child Nico, Robin, the revolutionaries said. They are the crewmates of Straw Hat Luffy. You sure you want to tag along? Sabo asked. Yeah, once the war is done, we will meet back in 2 years to train even more for the new world, Spectral answered. I think we are going to war with the fleet and Luffy's cousins. So, the Rocks and Monkey cousins are joining us? Sabo asked. Fine by me. Let's head out. So, Luffy is going to war with his cousins. Rose, the day you and I meet again with Luffy will soon come. Dragon Thought rides the winds has changed, my son. Tato Land, Kamugi Island. Isaac POV. Clank, Isaac's baby snail hanged out, and then Isaac sat back in the chair and rubbed his head. Katakuri and Broly walked in on Isaac, who was rubbing head while eating and looking at his fist. Something wrong? Broly asked, and then Isaac took a deep breath and then answered. Luffy told me that there will be war at Marineford, since the Navy decided to execute his brother, Isaac answered, and then we are going to return back to usual locations for 2 years to train. 2 years? Katakuri said. Do you want to go? Yeah, I'm positive. The others might be on their way to Marineford, and I think Vivi is here. I believe she is at Nuts Island, Isaac answered. Nuts Island? You mean one of your crew members is at my sister's island? Broly asked. I believe so. After we were on call to discuss our plans at war, Isaac answered. Is it possible if I can head over to Marineford? That could be arranged, I assume, Katakuri said. I'll tell Mama that I'm heading out. Thanks, Katakuri, Isaac exclaimed. No problem, Katakuri said. After the war and I'm going. Nuts Island, Vivi's POV. Clank. Vivi's baby snail hanged up as she got off a call with her crew members, and then Vivi started looking for Amanda. Hey, Amanda! Vivi yelled out, are you around here? And then Amanda appears and then raised an eyebrow. You need something? Amanda asked. Vivi nodded. Is there a way I could head over to Marineford? Vivi asked. My captain's brother has been sent to execution, and Luffy wants us to head over to Marineford. If this is very important to you and Luffy, that I suppose I could get you there, Amanda answered. For the record, Isaac, my crewmate, He is over at the Komugi Island, Vivi said, and then Luffy said we are going to come back and train for the next 2 years. One of your crewmates is at my big brother's island, Amanda asked, and then Vivi nodded. I suppose me and Katakuri can train you too for the next 2 years for right now. You're the best, Vivi exclaimed, and then Amanda smiled. Sakura Kingdom, Kaya POV. So, you're planning on going to Marineford to help your crewmates in the war? Kureha asked as she was walking of where Kaya was sitting down. Yeah, they are executing Luffy's brother, Kaya answered, and after the war is done, we will return back to island we were sent and train for the next 2 years. 2 years, really? Kureha said. Seems like a wise choice. I've heard you wanted to learn medical skills. I could teach after you're done with the war. Thank you, Dr. Kureha, Kaya exclaimed. Marineford, Navy HQ, Sengoku POV. Puru. 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 Catcha, this is Fleet Admiral Sengoku. Why are you calling? He asked the officer from Impel Down. Fleet Admiral, we are under attack. A Marine said. Emperor Straw Hat Luffy is in Impel Down as we speak. What? Sengoku said. Why is he in Impel Down? We are not sure on why or how he is, the officer said, but someone knocked him out, and then Snail went into sleep mode. Hey, are you still there? Sengoku said furiously. Don't hang up on me. Answer me. And then slams him desk and cussing at himself, and then another snail started to ring. He picks it up instantly. Fleet Admiral, Straw Hat is raiding and freeing the prisoners. The Marine said he already freed everyone from the first and second floor, and he took out all of the guardians. What the hell? Sengoku said, tell the warden to annihilate Straw Hat immediately. Sorry, I'm afraid the petty officer is unable to tell the warden as he has knocked out Straw Hat. Luffy said. So then, we can do this easy way or the hard way. Free ace or hell is coming your way. Marine shithead. The snail went silent as Sengoku punched his desk in fury, completely destroying it in half. This reckless bastard, Sengoku said. Impel Down, Luffy POV. Free all the prisoners you can, Luffy said, then meet me by the front door. You got it, Captain, one of the prisoners said. Let's do this for Emperor Straw Hat. Another said. Don't let them get away, prison guard said. Luffy knocks out all of the guards. No time to waste, Luffy said. We are on the 4th floor, and we need to be quick. He could feel that the warden was getting close, and he wasn't happy at all. He actives his gear second and his HAKI in both arms as the warden was thinking about attacking him with poison engulfed hand. Damn you, pirate! He screeches. I'll obliterate you myself. I have no time to waste on a freak like you, Luffy said as he kicks him away with HAKI, sending him flying. Get lost, you asshole. I will kill you, Magellan said. Luffy moved away with his gear second and then kicks the poison freak hard on the stomach with armament HAKI. But he was still standing. You can't stop me that easily. I don't need to stop you. I just need to defeat you, Luffy said, and his fist was being swarmed with blue lightning particles, and then he charges at Magellan. Retro impact. Luffy punches Magellan, making blue fire pierce through his stomach with armament HAKI. Magellan's eyes almost come out of his sockets as he falls down unconscious. Luffy, wasted enough time, went to the next level. The freezing hell. He knocked out a few guards and took there and disguise himself. This will be a pain in the ass as he felt the symptoms of the poison of that bastard. He wasn't affected much, but it was enough for him to feel a bit weak. Damn, this is not good at all, Luffy said. I need to rest, or I'll screw this up for sure and get into more trouble. He then felt a presence which made him shiver. He's here. How the hell did he get caught? As much I don't like him for that nightmare island of his, he is still a member of my father. It's best if I find him and ask him for help about this annoying poison. Luffy went into the direction of where he could find his father's members were hiding. He shivered as he started remembering that nightmarish island. Well, a male said, which made Luffy shivered more. What brings you here, Straw Boy? I came here to recuse my brother, Luffy answered, and I guess to help you escape. Because if I don't, then my father will hunt me down if I be lazy and leave you here. Well, that's a good thing, I guess, he said. I just need a few hours before I go back out there, Luffy said. I knocked out the warden, and then his venom got onto my skin. Then let me check your wounds in case if it's that bad, he said. Luffy's eyes started to twitch, and then he started to shiver at him getting close to him with those clothings. But he needed to rest. Magellan will recover soon enough. I saw your fight. Not bad, but that venom got help from his men. He went to get poor Gasty, Ace. Damn it, that's not good, Luffy said. It can't just go out like this. It's really going to be a hellish war. Outside of Impel Down, Hancock POV. Why aren't you at Marineford, Boa Hancock? Sengoku Screech. Oh, I forgot to tell you. I should have told you about my resignation letter, Hancock said and then smiled. What do you mean? Sengoku said, and Hancock noticed the worry in his voice. Yeah, my resignation letter, Hancock said. I quit being a warlord for now on. Hancock then hung up the snail. Don't let the Marines intervene with Luffy's plans. Yes, Empress Dakuja said. Outside the ship, the fleet of Luffy was making the Marines fight with everything they have, and they were barely defending themselves. The prisoners already aboard the ships. Please be alright, Luffy. Hancock said. It's almost time for Port Gasti, Ace to be transported to Marineford. More Marines are approaching us, Akuja said. Keep them from getting inside. Give them more hell, Hancock said. 6th floor, Impel Down. Son of a Luffy said. They already took him. What should we do now? His companion asked. We are going and bring hell to Marineford, Luffy said. War has already been declared and Sengoku regret his decision, and they are going to 3 emperors at the war. My cousins and crew should be near Marineford. Your Ace's little brother, aren't you? Jinbei said. A warlord, the 5th emperor of the sea and the superhuman of paradise. That's right, Luffy said. You're Jinbei, aren't you? A warlord. I am, but I have no intentions of fighting you, Jinbei said. I want to help. I was against them, and they locked me up for this. Well then, Jinbei, you're more than welcome to join in and give the Navy hell, Luffy said. First, we need to get the hell out of Impel Down. Luffy uses his sword to cut down the cell. You are really worthy of being an emperor, Jinbei said. Let's go. Luffy smiled as they went outside and then destroyed the prison. The war is coming, and it's time to give them a war that they never expected. Luffy pulls out his baby snail and then contacts his crew. Hey, go over to Marineford. I'll meet you there, Luffy said to his crew. Impel Down has already been destroyed. Don't waste your time of going to Impel Down. Roger, his crew said, and then Luffy hangs up and then contacts his cousins. Hey, it's me, Luffy said to one of his cousins. Cousin Luffy, what do you need? We are on our way to Impel Down, Damon said. I've already taken care of Impel Down. Head over to Marineford. My crew is on their way right now as we speak, Luffy said. Of course, it's always you who handles the big stuff, Terra said. What can I say? I have no qualms if my friends of my family are either hurt or in trouble, Luffy said. Yeah, that's our cousin. The cousins who always goes extreme, Amy said, and then Luffy smiled. I'm happy that you guys are doing great, Luffy said. I'll meet you at Marineford, and then he hangs up and is on his way to Marineford, of where a bloody war is about to go out. Do you know what it's mean? Go and declare war against the emperors of the sea, don't you? Whitebeard said as he was punching the war by using his Gura no Mi fruit, making Marineford shake. Sengoku, do you want this the easy way or the hard way? Give me my son back or this will get ugly. It's just only you. How are you end this all by yourself? Sengoku said. Who said it's going to be one? A red-haired pirate said as he knocks out the Marines with Conqueror's Haki. Surely Whitebeard is not in his prime, but he is fighting strong. Red-haired Shanks, screeched Sengoku, which made the Marines started to sweat. Why are you here? As I recall, you aren't related to Gold, Ace. He is like my son, like Whitebeard. I can't let him die. Plus, he is the son of my former captain, Shanks said. Like Whitebeard said, if you aren't going to easy way, then this war is going to expect hell soon enough. Gurara, I take it you raised Ace along with the other kid you talked about, Whitebeard said, which made Shanks to look at him. Seems like you know, Luffy, Shanks said, and then Whitebeard smiled. Ace always talks about him ever since he joined my crew, Whitebeard replied. He seems worthy of being an emperor. He and I had a chat not too while ago. Flashback after Eni's lobby, Water 7. Luffy was lying in bed when he gets a call from his transponder snail, and then he sighed before taking a moment of answering. He then picked up the call with a bored expression on his face. Hello, who is this? Straw Hat, Luffy asked with a bit rude and bored attitude. I should have expected that kind of attitude from you, Straw Hat, Whitebeard from the other side said, which made Luffy raise an eyebrow. Why is a big-time Yonko calling someone like me after I got done with a fight? Straw Hat asked. So, you do know me already? I figured you didn't since you barely cared about what's going on, Whitebeard said, and then Luffy sighed. My intelligence is not that excellent if that's your thinking about who you're talking to, Luffy said. My intelligence is only good whenever it's come to fighting my friends or family. Oh, you know what had happened to Ace before he joined my crew, Whitebeard said. Should have expected that, because he is too cocky to think he can beat strong fighters at his power level, Luffy exclaimed. Why are you calling me for? I'm still recovering. I just want to learn about Ace and your family tree, Whitebeard said, which made Luffy took a few seconds to answer to Whitebeard. My family tree is a long, complicated stretch, Luffy replied. What did Ace tell you about me firstly? He told me that you're the son of Dragon and the grandson of Rocks, Whitebeard answered, which made Luffy sweat a bit, and then calm down. Believe me or not, I used to be a member of the Rocks Pirate, which surprised Luffy a bunch. You were a member of the Rocks Pirates before he defeated Straw Hat, Luffy asked surprisingly. That's right. Although, I didn't acknowledge him as my captain, but we were still crewmates, Whitebeard said, which made Luffy frown a bit after hearing those responses. Whitebeard didn't acknowledge Rocks as his captain. You know I'm going to hate it whenever someone bad-mouths my family or mock me, Straw Hat, Luffy said with a rude expression. Sorry kid, didn't mean to go that deep, Whitebeard replied. Anyways, I want to know your family tree and Ace. That's all I'm calling for. Which one do you prefer to start with, Luffy asked. I'm very curious about your family tree, Whitebeard answered, which made Luffy sigh a bit. I'm the second son of Dragon. I'm the fourth kid of Rocks, which means 2 of my cousins are older than me, Luffy said. I'm also the son of Monkey D. Rose, the strongest assassin. I have 2 aunts from each family name, and my cousins are assassins along with my mother. Is that all, or did you need to hear more? And then Whitebeard laughed. What an unexpected family tree. I'm sure you told others about this, Whitebeard said. I've only said this to my crew, Shanks, my stepbrothers, Luffy replied. Do you want to know about Ace? Sure, go ahead, I won't waste your time that long, Whitebeard answered. I'm sure that Ace told you about him being son to Roger, Luffy said, which Whitebeard said yes, he didn't know about Roger. He really thought Roger was something that he wasn't. He decided to change his name to Porgasty, Ace instead of Gold, Ace, because some people lied to him. He asked if he deserved to be born, but I told him I wanted him to live to not believe that lie. Which he ignored that part, but he only cared about the first part, one said. So, at first he didn't want to live at that point because of Roger, Whitebeard asked. Seems so. I told him about my parents and my old geezer, which they were shocked, Luffy said. Ace decided that he wanted to become stepbrothers of the Rocks and Monkey family along with Sabo, who is revolutionary along with my dad. I see. But I take it you know your ways about going against fighters, Whitebeard said, and then Luffy took a minute to respond. Like I said, my intelligence is not that great, Luffy said. Ace is too stubborn to even care to know who he is fighting against. So, is that why he is going after to Teach? Whitebeard asked. Teach was in the 2nd Division, and Ace is the commander of the 2nd Division of Whitebeard Pirates. Ace doesn't know what strength Teach holds. Surely he is coward. But he is stronger than Ace for sure, Luffy answered. Ace didn't master his HAKI even since he learned about it. Sheesh, never thought he had HAKI, Whitebeard said, but if his HAKI is that low then Teach could win easily. Shanks even told us about that bastard, Luffy said. You know red-haired Shanks, Whitebeard asked. He came to my home island and then trained me the basics of HAKI. That's one of the reasons I'm the superhuman of paradise, Luffy answered. He told me that he was an apprentice of the Roger Pirates. Guerrara. You are really worthy of an emperor, I'll say, Whitebeard said. I take that compliment, Luffy said, knowing Teach. He is probably going to turn Ace into the Navy, which means Teach basically declare war on emperors, Whitebeard said. Teach turning Ace into the Marines and declaring war is a different story, Luffy said, which made Whitebeard confused. What do you mean, Whitebeard asked. It's not only Teach who is declaring war, but also the government, since they want to execute Ace. Because he is the son of Roger, Luffy answered. If Ace dies in the war, it could break the spirit of the world like Roger's execution, and bring shame to Rocks and Monkey family clan. You seem really smart when it's come to family, Whitebeard said. For the loving God, Whitebeard, my intelligence is good when it's come to fighting, family or friends, Luffy said. Anyways, if Teach throws Ace to the Marines, then it's going to be hell. You're right, Whitebeard said. I have to tell you something. What is it, Luffy asked. My end is almost near. I can't let Teach have my devil fruit if he comes to the war, Whitebeard said, which made Luffy shivered. You're going to die, Luffy asked. If that's a joke, then I'm not laughing. I could feel it. There is no ship for me to carry me back to the new era after the war is done, Whitebeard said. I'm afraid that this isn't a joke, which made Luffy to sweat dropped. You will have time at the war if you're going to die there. If Teach shows up, then we will care of his crew and not let them have your devil fruit, Luffy said. Surely he is coward. But I can't kill him with my own hands, I can only beat him up. I have not awakened my fruit yet. There is no chance of him getting sent to impel down. It's best if one of your family members or friends has my devil fruit, as my end is at almost near, Whitebeard said. If Ace is going to live and I die, Then either Ace or Marco is going to be the next captain of Whitebirds, which made Luffy's eyes widen and then calm down. If Ace is going to the next captain, then he needs to master his haki, Luffy said. Alright then. Until we meet at Marineford, I'll see you soon, Whitebird said as he hanged up, and then Luffy flopped on his bed and then went to sleep. I see. Well then let's wrap this nice and quick, Shanks said. Luffy is on his way. We need to buy him some time. Shanks. One of Luffy's cousins called out. Been a while, has it? Nice seeing you here, Damon, Shanks said. I assume Luffy call you guys here. We can't let our stepbrother die, Terra said. Luffy will go all crazy and seek out revenge, and it's go for us as well. Oh, scary, Kizaru said mockingly. Those are nieces and nephews of Dragon and Rose. They came here to free the son of Roger. Akainu said. We will not let them. 2/3 admirals were defeated by our cousin, Rios said while looking at the 3 admirals. We have Garp, our grandfather, who might get in our way to try and free Ace. We are pirates, revolutionary, and assassins, and he is a Navy soldier. Sati said. This is going to be an ugly war. I figured you guys will be here, Zoro said as the Thousand Sunny arrived. Looks like our captain got his cousins to help him out at the war. It's best if we buy time for our captain, Spectral said as he was walking up the deck of the Sunny. The low-class marines might be in his way, so we must not let them get to him. They will be smushed to bits like caterpillars, Robin said darkly, causing the marines to be spooked. For right now, let's not attack. If one of them attacks, Isaac said as he cracking his knuckles. Super! The Sunny is ready for war, Frankie said. It's nice to get into a big battle for once, Vivi and Kaya said. That's a lot of prey that we are looking at right now, Nami said. Try and not get hurt, Chopper said. Those are the Straw Hats. Their bounty is over $3 billion, a bunch of Marines said. Those are some big numbers, Sati said. Should have expected that from our cousins. Zoro, Robin, and Spectral are the top 3 strongest along with Luffy and their crews, Sora said. Looks like Luffy has been training them. They will soon regret this. Can't believe they chose to execute Fire Fist, Ace, a blonde revolutionary, said. Suddenly, there's a raven hair boy behind Sabo. Rihahaha, the raven boy laughed. They are such corrupted bastards. It's that really him? Amy asked as he stared at the boy. It's Luffy's biological brother, Rios said, and our biological cousin. Sup, cousins, the boy said. You haven't heard much of me. Did you miss me? Sure have. Colton Damon said. You have seen your little brother in action. I'm proud of that boy, Colton said, although I do like his style of fighting. Oh, what do we have here? Kizaru asked. Seems like that's the almighty Colton, the first son of Dragon, which makes him the biological brother of Straw Hat, Akainu said. His brother is not like the same as him, Akiji said. Don't let them fear you, Gold. Ace will be executed here by now, Sengoku said. Gururara. Sengoku doesn't know what he is doing, Whitebird said. Does he not know that he is going up against 3 emperors of the sea? Shanks said. He is really that retarded, as Fleet Admiral Akainu started to attack with magma meteor showers at the pirates, when suddenly, blue vortex. Someone punches the air and then strikes the meteors with lightning, causing them to explode, and there was an earthquake, and the ground started to break in half. What the? Sengoku said. The 3 admirals were sweating, the marines were on 3 knees. Meanwhile, the Straw Hats were grinning. Looks like war has begun, Luffy said as he walking up to the Sunny deck and onto the Sunny's head. It's not use talking into the Marines. Sengoku is just a fool and a pawn of the world government. If it's war he wants, then it's his way. Show them what you're made of. Whitebird started laughing and he punched the air, causing Marineford to shake more. Looks like you made it here, kid, Shanks said. Little brother Colton and Sabo said with a smile. It's been a while. Cousin Luffy. All of his cousins started to yell out. Looks like he's about to be satisfied, Vivi said. Can you blame him? His opponents were not enough for him, Zoro said. It's nice to see my brothers and cousins again, Luffy said. Say, Colton, do you still have your Maka Maka no Mi fruit? I still do, but however, I can't go that range from here, Colton answered. Bummer. Wells, looks like we going to do this the hard way. Sengoku, are you sure you want to do this? Garp asked. This is not the time, Garp. Sengoku said. Don't let any pirates, revolutionary, or assassins escape. Eliminate all of them. Of course, you're being stupid, Garp said. Our power level is not enough to take them all down. Shut up, Garp. Akainu said. Your grandson and Ace will die, alongside with his cousins and his brother, and that blonde. All of them in the name of Absolute. He was interrupted when Luffy punches him of where he was running at, making him crash into a marine ship. Shut up, you mutt, Luffy said. Why don't let the adults solve this? He's right, Colton started while cracking his knuckles and neck. If the old senile fool wants to have war his way, then so be it. And if Marines want to end up in the hospital after this is over, Sabo, and Luffy's cousins continues. We will gladly give you war that will happen. Luffy finished, and his pulls out his sword. Hey Straw Hat, I'll be assistance of you. What do you mean? Law said as he pulled out. Oh Law, can you bring my brother here? Luffy asked, and he nodded. Room. Law said. Shambles. Seconds later, he teleported Ace to his cousins where they help him get rid of the sea stone cuffs. Kill them all, don't let anyone escape. Sengoku screech as they give the Marines a war cry. Annihilate Monkey D. Luffy and Monkey D. Colton and all of his cousins are the children of the two wanted criminals, Monkey D. Dragon and Monkey D. Rose. Luffy just smirked. This old man was really senile, and will just make his men end up in the hospital. You Marines look scared to face us. You sure you want to do this? Whitebeard said with a serious tone. I may not be in my prime, but Shanks and Straw Hat is. Gold. Ace will die. Sengoku said. We will not let you escape here alive. I see. Looks like this going to hell for him. Luffy said. After this is over, Marineford and the Navy will never the same anymore. Let's give them what they want. Very well said, Brother Colton said, and then he takes out his sword and coated in armament HAKI. Colton is the third best swordsman, meanwhile his little brother is the fourth. Colton reached out to his crew. Hey crew, assist the Straw Hats, the Whitebirds, and the red-haired pirates. Don't let your guard down. Don't let the Marines intervene with Luffy's business especially. You got it, Captain, Colton's crew said. Luffy's brother is pretty amazing, I should say, Shanks said as he took out his sword. Yassop, join your son and shoot down some pirates with him. Not a problem, Shanks, Yassop said, and taking out his rifle. Luffy POV. Luffy and Colton were beating up some Marines who were in their way. Suddenly, Akiji comes up to Luffy as he was running and then whisper. Listen, Straw Hat, Akiji said. Why are talking to me? Luffy asked. Do you know Sakazuki? Akiji asked. Why should I care in fact? Why are you mentioning this to me? Aren't you both admirals? Luffy asked. Go ask your friend, Robin, Akiji answered, which made Luffy think a second and then started to run again before punching him the guts, and then he met up with Robin. Hey Robin, Luffy called out. What is it? Robin asked. Do you know Sakazuki? Luffy asked. He is the one who blew up O'Hara, my home, Robin said, which made Luffy's eyes widen. He learned about the incident about O'Hara but didn't know what had actually happened. I see. Akiji told me to ask you about him. Luffy said. You know me. I have no qualms whenever my friends get or were hurt. I'll always protect you. Thanks, Luffy, Robin said, and then Luffy started to beat up some Marines. Meanwhile, Colton was fighting Kizaru and Ace was clashing with Akiji. Terra POV. Terra, back me up for a few seconds, Luffy said as he started to be knocking out Marines. Yes, dear cousin, Terra said as he was running with Luffy with her scythe out. Be scared, Marines. Hello, Terra. Terra swings her scythe, forming a gust of black wind to swarm around the Marines and slashes the wind, causing the Marines have a cut on their chest. Terra eat the Shinsei no Mi fruit, the Paramiyaka type of darkness. Marines tried to attack Terra behind, but they were stopped by Damon. Disarm them, Damon said as he ordered his bats after he summoned them to disarm the Marines by stealing their swords and guns. Damon ate the Vamp no Mi fruit. Don't try to lay a finger on my family. Vampire Chamber. Damon crosses him arms, and then spikes started summoning into the ground and the ground started to shake. Colton POV. So, word is that you gotten beaten by my little brother, is that right? Kizaru, Colton said as wind started to go around and blowing away the Marines from him. I can tell you is just an insolent beat. Kizaru was soon interrupted when Colton punched him in the face. No one insults my brother in front of me, Colton said angrily. Kizaru and Colton started to clash with their powers. You seem worried by the looks of your face. You sure you want to fight? Kizaru moves in the speed of light and tried to kick Colton, but he dodges before he swung with him, able to foresee the future. You think a kick like that is enough to stop me? And then wind started to go directing at Kizaru, causing it to push Kizaru away and making him crash onto a Marine ship, and a bunch of Marines started to charge at him. Unstoppable flows. Loads of wind started to form into a big tornado, and the Marines were sucked into the tornado, and Colton was controlling the tornado by swinging it left and right, making the Marines feel dizzy, and then Colton tosses them into the air, and then tosses them back down, making the ground to break. It's nice that I get to fight along with my little brother, Colton said. Colton and Terra were the only cousins who had devil fruits for right now, as they were the oldest. The rest of them didn't want devil fruit unless they changed their minds about eating them. Luffy POV. Damn you, son of dragon, Akainu screech, you, your brother, your cousins and Roger's son will die here. Shut up, mutt. Luffy said, and then Rio walked up next to Luffy and Terra. If let Ace die here, then it will break the spirit between our family clan, Rio said. We will not let that happen, Terra said as he takes off her assassin's coat, and Rio takes off his jacket. Akainu turns into magma, and charged at Luffy and two of his cousins. Luffy smirked, and then kicked him with armament haki and making untransformed into magma. Damn you! Akainu screamed, and the three of them smiled and cracks his knuckle before coating him arm with armament. What's wrong? I thought you were the strongest admiral, Luffy said mockingly. Come on, bring it here. Akainu charged the second time, but Rio grabbed him the face and lifted him up and coated him arm with armament, and punching him into the ground, making to cough up blood. What are y'all doing? Sengoku screamed, stop and annihilate those pirates. Luffy saw as multiple marines were coming his way, but they were soon to be stopped by his crew, and then smirked. Sorry, but we can't let you intervene. Execution death of Sakazuki, Akainu, Zoro said. Looks like you have going to find a new admiral for the navy. It's not going to be the same, Spectral said. We will not let you get into our captain's business, Robin said as she uses her devil fruit to crack the marine's spine. Gururara Whitebeard laughed as he hit the air. That caused an earthquake that split the ground open, making the marines fall to their deaths. Luffy smirked as he saw Isaac and Usopp shooting and knocking the marines along with Yasopp. Nami, Kaya and Vivi were freezing and electrocuting the marines together. Frankie were firing cannonballs at the marines. Sanji was kicking some marines around. Spectral was slashing marines with his poison trident, and Zoro was cutting them up. His fleet commanders were fighting and destroying the marines. We caused so much damage to Marineford. It's only a matter of time before this island sinks, Luffy said as he looked at Akainu, who coughing up blood. We need to wrap this up quickly as possible. Damn you demons! Akainu said. Sengoku, please, we need to stop this madness. Garp said with worry, we need to stop this before it's too late. Why are you still standing around? Kill poor Gas D, Ace, Monkey D, Luffy and Monkey D. Colton already, Sengoku screamed, ignoring Garp's word. Luffy decided to end this quickly. Buggy, Frankie, get ready, Luffy said. You got it, Captain, they both said in union. Hurry and stop them! Sengoku screamed, but they were trapped and poisoned by Spectral. Sorry, can't let you foil our plans, Spectral said. Ever since I've learned about the government, I've always hated them. The celestial dragons almost took away my aunt when she was babysitting me. The Navy or Cypher Pole didn't do anything about them by protecting and following them, Luffy said. Once I learned about the truth of O'Hara, I knew I couldn't ignore this. The innocent civilians of O'Hara, who were doing nothing but escaping the massacre of a Buster Call. Annihilate him! Sengoku screamed, while he was sweating like a pig as Luffy exposed the Navy and the government. But Luffy's crew, his brother's crew, Boa Hancock and her crew, the Whitebeard pirates and the Red Hair pirates stopped them for getting in from Luffy's family. Damn you, you son of demons! Akainu screeched as he went with a magma punch. Sora blocks the attack with her scythe and cut Akainu's arms off, causing a fountain of blood coming out Akainu's body as he screams in pain. Those who sacrifice the people who are weak, Luffy said, be sent to hell for eternity. In that moment, Luffy, Colton, Sabo, Ace and his cousins beats up the wounded admiral coated with armament haki. There was a sound of pains that could be heard from paradise, as the dead body of the admiral fall down to the ground. Now then, those who were sacrificed will not be in vain, as this mud is in hell, Luffy said as he puts down his sword. Damn you! Sengoku screamed as he transforms into a golden Buddha, but Luffy saw his grandpa knock out Sengoku with his armament haki fist, making the fleet admiral unconscious. This war is officially over, Garp said. From here on out, Fleet Admiral Sengoku is unconscious as you all escape from here before this island sinks. Are you knocking out Sengoku was a good idea, Garp Kazan said in a lazy tone. It was, unfortunately, Garp answered, unless you want to sacrifice more marines for lost cause of this mess. Yo, shitty Gramps, Luffy said. What's going to be your plan after he wakes up? There might be a chance of him retiring, Garp answered. I'm glad I get to see my grandkids, but not in this scenario. If you want someone to blame, then blame the Fleet Admiral and the government, Rio said. The pirates and Garp agreed on that. Luffy turned around, as his crew and fleet followed him. Next were Colton and his crew, then his cousins, then Whitebeard and his crew, and then Shanks, until they heard a disgusting laugh. Zehahaha, Blackbeard laughed. Damn, I didn't think he would show up here, Luffy said. Ace, don't attack him, you are still weak from the sea stones. Let us take care of him for you. What the is this? Blackbird said. This is like a whole army. I see Ace is still alive, but he is here. You got some nerve declaring war against us, you know, Damon said. Teach Shanks said, leaking his conqueror's haki. You were always a weirdo. Even Roger told me about you and not to trust you. I should have never invited you to my crew. Whitebeard said. You traitor. You killed one our comrades for a damn fruit. Hey, let's just talk this out, can't we? Blackbird said. I know I might have pissed you guys off, you turning Ace into the Marines. You're lucky that I was in a hurry, otherwise I would have killed you myself, Luffy said. But I think Whitebeard has more rights into killing you more than us. He may not be in his prime, but he can still beat you up. Hey, Luffy, I think I know why he is here, Rio said. What is it? Luffy asked. He was trying to gain Whitebeard's fruit, Rio answered, which made Teach's eyes widen, and then the Rocks and Monkey family looked at him with pure hatred in his eye. It's seeming like that fruit can have more than one fruit. Whitebeard's crew started to look at him with hatred, and then everyone started to surround Blackbeard's crew. Whitebeard, you can go ahead and beat him up since you have more rights into killing him more than myself, Luffy said. Thanks, kid, Whitebeard said, and then Whitebeard started to beat the daylights into Blackbeard. Meanwhile, Luffy's cousins and himself started to beat up Blackbeard's crew, making them unconscious. Blackbeard shot him 3 times and run off quickly like the coward he was before he was almost to beaten to death. Should we go after them? Sadie asked. Meh, they are just cowards. For right now let's get Whitebeard to safety, Luffy said. No one else needs to die here before this island sinks. Especially not him yet. He's right. If we stay here for much longer then we will end up in the bottom of the ocean, Terra said. Hurry up and go, Garp said before Sengoku wakes up. Luffy nodded. His crew, his cousins, his brother, and every pirate left Marineford. You Gramps, Luffy said, looking at him for the last time. We owe you for helping us, but take care. As the Sunny started moving, he heard his grandpa laughing. Few days later. So, Luffy, what is your plan since we got done with the war? Amy asked. Me and my crew need to train for 2 years, Luffy answered. Kuma said that weren't ready for the new world yet. I think that is a wise choice, Damon said, but what will you do since you feel like you're already ready? Not quite, Luffy said. You see, I've learned new skills that I haven't mastered yet. I need like 6 months to master it, plus I need to master my advanced observation haki. You are full of surprises, dude, Terra said while hugging him. You will always be our perfect cousin. Okay, don't say that in front of Damon or either Ace and Sabo, Luffy said. They will get jealous of me. Sorry, little cousin, Terra said. Alright then, Usopp, get the portals ready, Luffy said. We will meet in 2 years. Frankie, give the Sunny to Rayleigh so it can be ready to go to Fishman Island in the next 2 years. Super! Frankie said. You got it, Captain. I don't want to return back to hell, Sanji said while he was mopping on the ground. Don't be such a drama queen, Sanji Sadie said. Trust me, Nami, Luffy said. He is going to hell for any male. Luffy and his male cousins shivered at those horrible memories. They were hugged by Nami, Robin, Vivi, Terra, Sadie, Sora, Amy, Makita, and Hancock. Lucky bastards, Sanji mumbled as he crosses his portal to his training island of where he was sent to by Kuma. See you in 2 years, Zoro said. Take care, Captain, Vivi said. Oh, Terra, I'll make sure to tell you girls and your mom about Luffy's relationships and childhood. Wait, what? No, don't do that, Luffy said, but it was too late after Vivi crossed her portal. No, I don't want my mama to make fun of me again. Your mother is going to tease Luffy-kun, Hancock said, laughing. This will be fun to see Luffy get embarrassed, Nami said as he crosses her portal. Take care of Luffy, Spectral said as he crosses his portal. See you later, Robin said. I'll be back stronger than I was before, Isaac said as he crosses his portal. It was great seeing you again, Luffy, Rio said. I hope we can meet again after you're back and see in the next 2 years. Luffy and his cousins started sailing back to their base, and Luffy waved at them. Take care and don't worry, Ace is in good hands. Luffy said. Usopp, once you and Frankie return to Sunny back, teleport Frankie to his training island and you will go as well. We will see each other at Saboti Archipelago in 2 years, but you can't pick them up. We will return back on our own. Roger that, Usopp said as he left after saying goodbye to Kaya. Moments later, she also left. He then sat on a rock. Looks like you're ready, Luffy, Rayleigh said. Yeah, I am, Luffy said. This shouldn't be too bad. After the war, the Straw Hats were training for 2 years and 3 days and decided to return back at Saboti, where they encounter a celestial dragon and an admiral. They were soon to be relocated by Kuma the Tyrant, a Revolutionary Army member and a warlord of the sea, after Luffy and Kizaru were battling, and Kuma interfered by relocating the Straw Hats to different islands. Luffy ended up on Amazon Lily, where he met a bunch of women on the island, and they started to search party to execute him but failed as he battling the pirate empress's sisters into freeing his allies who helped him retrieve him items. However, he had to fight the two sisters in order to retrieve his sword, which wasn't an easy task. After Luffy won the fight, he helps one of the pirate empress's sisters into covering her back to protect her slave Mark from her people. After Luffy helped them and his allies were untransformed into stone, he was asked to be summoned at the pirate empress's castle to uncover her secret. Luffy tells them about his true name about the Sabaody incident. The pirate empress confesses to Luffy about her being a slave to the world nobles. Luffy didn't see her as a slave, which made her happy. Luffy offers to make the pirate empress's island his territory, which she accepted. Luffy learns that his brother, Ace, was about to be executed at Marineford. Luffy then calls up his fleet, his crew and his cousins about heading to Marineford to go to the war. Luffy inflates impelled down and freed prisoners and made them join his fleet. Luffy then teams up with Jinbei and made his way to Marineford, where he encounters Whitebeard and Shanks along his crew, fleet, and cousins. But then his revolutionary brother came with someone that Luffy biology knows. His brother Colton. They soon made an army alliance in the war. Colton fights with Kizaru, the admiral who was beaten up by Luffy at Sabaody, also gotten beaten by Colton with his Maka Maka no Mi fruit, Wind Power Devil fruit. Luffy later fights Sakazuki with Rio and Terra after he learns that real truth about Ohara. Marines tried to intervene but blocked by the Straw Hats. Sakazuki later dies by the hands of Luffy and his family. The pirates, revolutionary and assassin, almost left as Marineford was about to sink when they encountered Blackbeard, who came to gain Whitebeard's fruit but failed as Luffy and his allies beats up Blackbeard and his crew and then soon ran off. They soon left Marineford and stop at a random island where Blackbeard is nowhere near and say their goodbyes until the next 2 years, which bring us here right now. Sabaody Archipelago. Multiple POV. Oh, looks like this place has not changed a lot in the last 2 years. Rahahaha. Alright, let's go, Luffy said as he was wearing a disguise. Rocks D. Luffy, age 20 years old. Bounty $2,550,325,000. Devil Fruit. Goma Goma no Mi. Weapons, Misery Sword. Arts. 7 deadly arts. Let's hope everyone's here. Surely everyone had some good training these past 2 years, Luffy said as he walking. Hopefully no more celestial dragons are here. I'm not getting involved with another admiral again for right now. Other side of Sabaody. I'm very sure this the place. I'm sure Luffy told us to meet here, Zoro said to himself. I need to find the others. Roronoa Zoro, age 22. Bounty $850 million. Weapons, 3 swords. I can sense trouble here. Looks like they know we will be here, Zoro said. Another part of Sabaody. Oh my, there are so many beautiful women here, Sanji said while love heart shaped in his eyes, but not as beautiful as Nami, Vivi and Robin. Sanji, age 22. Bounty $550 million. He hasn't changed much at all these past 2 years. Might Oswell find our crew, Isaac said as he walking to tag along with no time to flirt. We need to find our crew and get out of here before the Navy comes. Isaac, age 20, bounty $330 million. Fine, let's go. I've heard Moss Head was on the other side of Sabaody, Sanji said. Isaac and Sanji went to the other side to find Zoro. In a bar. What the hell is this, Nami said as he looking at the fake Straw Hats. They look ugly. After the war, it's seeming like we are getting impersonated, Vivi said, but I do have a feeling that we are being watched. They seem weak. I advise to not waste your time on them, Robin said. Nami, age 21, bounty $600 million. Devil Fruit, Denki Denki no Mi. Vivi, age 19, bounty $600 million. Devil Fruit, Tora Tora no Mi fruit. Nico Robin, age 28, bounty $730 million. Devil Fruit, Hana Hana no Mi. Let's go. I've seen Spectral somewhere around. I think he knows about the faces as well, Nami said as the three of them walked out the bar. Alleyway. What the hell is this crap, Spectral said as he looks at the fake's bounty posters and then burns them with poison. So, if they want to be impersonators, we will be seeing them very soon. But I do think that the Navy might come here. Spectral Lumen, age 23, bounty $750 million. Devil Fruit, Doka Doka no Mi. These 2 years I've been training, and people has been impersonating Spectral said maybe I should give them a taste of my poison fruit. Outside of the bar. I think the captain just arrived here, Kaya said. We have impersonators on this island. The impersonators are in there right now. They have no clue what they are messing with, Vivi said. What should we do? Waited out for a minute, Usopp asked. I'm not sure, the Navy will soon come here, because they know our ship is here, Robin answered. Usopp, age 20, bounty, $540 million, devil fruit, Jinga Jinga no Mi. Kaya, age 19, bounty, $600 million, devil fruit, Kaze Kaze no Mi. I think Frankie is over by the Sunny right now. Let's head over there, Vivi said as they run over to the Sunny concert. Yo-ho-ho-ho. Brook the skeleton laughed. Are you guys ready for the best music ever? Yeah, the public screamed. Then, let's get rocking, Brook said as he played his guitar. Brook, bounty, $90 million, 1,000 Sunny. Frankie, it's so nice to see you, Chopper called out as he runs towards the Sunny. Super, Frankie said. Chopper is here at the Sunny. Now we got to wait for the others. Frankie, age 36, bounty, $100 million. Chopper, age 18, bounty, $100 million. I can't wait to show Luffy and the others what I learned, Chopper said. What about you? I made some new inventions on the way here, Frankie said. It's going to super. Luffy POV. What the is this? Luffy said to himself as he looked at the fakes. Now we have fakes after 2 years, what a drag. Luffy then cracks his knuckles and takes off his disguise. Well, looks like the Navy will be here. Luffy then went up the fake Zoro and fake Sanji. Once they saw Luffy, they started to sweat like pigs. If I remember correctly, this wasn't the Straw Hats' total bounties, or my brain has been fried. We need to get out of here before we are dead, fake Zoro said as he's starting to run in fear to the fake Luffy. Luffy used Zoro and catches up to him. Once the fake Luffy saw the real one, he started to sweat. Looks like you guys have some guts to dare embarrassing us in front of the world, Luffy said, smirking, and then unleashes Conqueror's Haki. Alright, I'll give you a couple seconds to run away as far as you can, or you see why I have no qualms. The fake Straw Hats didn't have to be told twice, as they run away very fast, and that's when a Marine with a pacifista. Don't go anywhere, Straw Hat, he said as Luffy turned his head around with an bored expression. You're under arrest. Are we seriously doing this again? How many times do the Navy said I'm under arrest when I'm actually not? Luffy asked mockingly. Enough chit-chat, he said. Pacifistas. Luffy then sighed after he talked. The Kuma pacifistas shoot beams at Luffy only for him to dodge them. Luffy used Gear Second and punched the pacifista and then slashing it, destroying it into two. Luffy went to the fat Marine and punched him in the guts with armament, making him fly away and crashing into some trees and passed out. Try to send someone that will actually catch me, Luffy said as he looked at the Marines who were shivering. If you want to catch me so badly, then bring 5 warships and an admiral, or any higher-ups. Until then, leave before I give you the same treatment as that other guy. The Marines run off screaming. Soon enough, Luffy reunites with Zoro, Sanji and Isaac. Sanji had a very big bump on his head for very odd reason. What happened to him? Luffy asked. Sanji kept on flirting on the way, trying to find you after we found Zoro, Isaac answered. No surprise there. Let's go, Luffy said. I don't feel like dealing with an admiral for right now. They arrived at the Sunny. Luffy saw Frankie and he was surprised at his new appearance. Frankie, you look amazing. Thanks, Captain, Frankie said. Hey, Luffy, Vivi said as he runs up to him and hugs him. After a few moments, Vivi ed Luffy on the cheek, which made him. You didn't have to do that, Luffy said as he tries to cover up his blush after Vivi said. We haven't ed in 8 years, and I felt like doing so. I missed you, Vivi whispered in his ear, and making Luffy blush even more as Vivi ed him on the lips, and Luffy ed back and melted into the crew started snickering except for Sanji, who was mopping but stopped as he was punched by Nami on the head. Later on, Spectral and Brook arrived as they were still laughing, and Spectral raised an eyebrow. What did we miss? Spectral asked. You just missed Luffy and Vivi ing, Nami said as he was still giggling. First time? Spectral asked. No, it was 8 years. But it was only because I missed him, Vivi said as she yes Luffy again, although it was fun chatting with his cousins, which made Luffy's eyes widen. Wait, what, you talked to my cousins? Luffy asked in fear. It was only your girl cousins. They taught so many things, Vivi answered. Oh great. Now Vivi is going to tease me. What a drag, Luffy thought. 2. You were thinking what a drag, weren't you? Vivi asked while smiling, which made Luffy's jaw dropped. What the? This is going to be pain, Luffy thought again. Don't be annoyed, cutie, Vivi said. Can you not say my thoughts, please? Luffy thought. Nope, I can't. You're easy to predict, Vivi said. Sadie, next time I see you again, I'm stealing your food again, Luffy thought. We should probably get going, Luffy said. The world has changed a bunch. A new age has been born. How much has it changed? Isaac asked. For starters, ever since Sakazuki's death and Sengoku's resignation, there are new Navy admirals and Kazan is the new fleet admiral of the Navy. Luffy said. Kazan has been trying to fix all the damages we did at the war. Marineford was almost destroyed into rumble. Damn new admirals, that's going to be a problem, Nami said. Kazan is different than Sakazuki. He isn't a heartless marine in the Navy. Robin said. Kizaru is just a loyal dog, the world government. Another thing, Whitebeard is nearly at his end, and he wants me to take over his territory. Luffy said. Ace and Marco are captaining the ship until Whitebeard is at his end. Is he sick? Chopper asked. Yeah, he is. Luffy answered. His old age is not helping. He may be old, but he is still strong. So, are you planning on taking over? Zoro asked. Yeah, I am sure of it. He also wants me to take over all of his territories, specifically Fishman Island. That's where we are going, Luffy answered. Vivi and Isaac, I'm sure you two know this since you guys were located there. Both Vivi and Isaac nodded. What had happened? Spectral said. One of Big Mom's sons, Katakuri, gave me a call around a year ago telling me that he has figured out one of my questions and chose his own faith in life. Luffy answered. He also chose his faith along with some of his siblings. What exactly do you mean by that? Kaya said. Katakuri left his position as Sweet Commander of the Big Mom Pirates and formed his own pirate crew. Luffy answered. He got some of his siblings to join him and sailing across the new world as we speak. Was that a good choice for him? Spectral asks. It's his decision in future, Luffy answered. It's possible if we see Katakuri in the new world soon enough. Flashback. 1 year ago, Luffy was outside punching some trees as he was trying to master his martial arts. He didn't use his haki because it wasn't proper training. He punches the tree as hard as he could to fully master it, when gets a call from his Den Mushi and immediately picks up. Who is this? This is Straw Hat Luffy said. Been a long time, friend, voice of Katakuri said on the line, which made Luffy surprised. Never thought I heard from you. It's been like 5 years as of right now, Luffy said. I've heard that you're planning on reuniting your crew in the next 2 years. As of right now, you will be meeting them in a year, Katakuri said. Times files quickly, Luffy replied. So, what's up? About that question you mentioned to me 5 years ago, Katakuri answered. Leadership and freedom. Oh, that? Not going to lie, I forgot that myself ever since I've been out to sea, Luffy said. You always tell me you forget something important, Katakuri said. I'm sure that your crew member, Isaac, is here. Yeah, I know of it. I know Vivi is at Nuts Island, Luffy said. So, about leadership and freedom. Yeah, I figured out the answer to it, Katakuri said. It made me think like a few moments. Well's that good, Luffy said. Now, do you really want to experience it by choosing your own faith, or continue what you are doing? I've already made up my mind a year ago, Katakuri answered. It's your future, your dream. It's not it's for you to control, Luffy said. I see. Right after Isaac is done with his training, I'll leave my position and crew as Sweet Commander of the Big Mom Pirates, Katakuri said, and Luffy laughed. Either way, I'm glad on what decision you made, Luffy said, but don't you want to bring your siblings along with you? Might be tough to convince, but I'll try, Katakuri said. I want to form my own pirate crew. That seems nice. If that's your decision, then go ahead, Luffy said. I have no reasons of stopping you myself. I appreciate this faith in life, my friend, Katakuri said. I hope we meet again, someday. I hope so too. Good luck training, Isaac, Luffy said. Take care, Katakuri said as they both hang up. Flashback. So, Katakuri left the Big Mom Pirates and formed his own. Spectral asked. Yeah, his crew includes Smoothie, the 14th daughter of Big Mom, and the 3rd Sweet Commander, Cracker, the 10th son of the Big Mom, and the 2nd Sweet Commander, Luffy answered. Wait, all 3 of them left their position as Sweet Commanders, Nami asked. Apparently, I'm friends with Katakuri, Smoothie, Cracker, and Amanda, Luffy answered. You got some wilds friends, Luffy, Vivi said, and Isaac agreed with him. I know, but Big Mom didn't like me very much, Luffy said. Don't ask why. We should probably get going to Fishman Island, Zoro said. I can sense Marines coming here. I feel that as well, Sanji said. Let's go, Luffy said. To Fishman Island? Fishman Island, the Straw Hat screamed. Thanks for watching this video. You really enjoy this video? Like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. Don't forget to support and follow Radistorm for writing that awesome fanfic, and also make sure to comment on this story, link in the description. See you in the next video. Goodbye.